Join David and Ross as they become discombobulated in Dorset. From pixies to poltergeists, witches to woodrows, hear them explore the legends, folklore, and outright weirdness of their own county. This is Dark Dorset, the podcast of Weird Dorset.
Okay. David, are you right standing? Or do you want to sit on this?
Oh, I can move up.
All right.
No, you sit down. You're going to be here for a long time.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a shame. That's quite good. If you sit like that, it's like a pommel of a saddle. Like you're riding a cock horse.
What is a cock horse?
Well, I rode a...
You take them to Banbury Cross, isn't it?
I rode a cock horse on Weymouth Beach.
But what is a cock horse?
It's a carousel. It's a wooden horse on a carousel.
Ah.
I believe. Anyway, it's a ride a cock.
Oh.
Ride a horse cock.
I'm Ross in a secret location.
Shh. I'm David next to Ross in a secret location.
I'm Henry in a secret location.
Yeah.
On a balancing on a precariously positioned stick. Or is it gorse? I can't tell.
So we are in a secret location in Dorset, obviously. We've set up a hide overlooking a pond and a field. David, have we got photographs of this?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a heathland.
What are we doing here
It's
then,
not a
Dave?
field.
What's the... Oh, okay. Heathland.
Yeah.
Like Rowland. I'm sliding off my tussock.
I was trying to help you, heathland.
So David, what are we doing here?
What's that? Nothing. We are in our secret location, in a hide on the heathland, overlooking, well, first of all, we're halfway up a hill. There's a pond at the bottom, and then we've got quite a good vista of some rough kind of heather ground going into the forest. And we are here because we want to try and spot a big black cat.
Why are we looking for big black cats, David?
Because they're out there.
Yeah, because you have encountered one, haven't you?
I have encountered one.
Right, tell us the story.
Oh, not again.
Well, for the sake of the tape.
You're just taking notes, aren't you, to make sure it's the same every time?
It does get bigger every time we talk about it.
Yeah.
But that's just an exciting story.
Yeah.
From the very first
moment I saw you.
ideas we had about the podcast, we were always going to, well, first of all, it was always, I said I'd only do it if we actually went out on location rather than just sat in our geeky bedrooms.
Mm-hmm.
And from the very first chats we had, we were always going to do one where we stayed out overnight trying to spot a big cat, because there have been lots of sightings in Dorset. We've got there's been lots of sightings, and friends have seen them here and there. And you and I have disbelieved them every step of the way, thinking that they only saw fleeting glimpses in the dark and they must be mistaken. And they didn't really know what they were seeing. And they got the size calibration all wrong. And we kept laughing at people that said this to us until April this year, when I saw a black cat myself. Yeah.
Paint us a picture, David. Was there anything to know about?
Just go back. Can I just say, for the tape, others may laugh at you, David, but I instantly believed you.
Yeah.
I truly believed you.
I think because you're a man of the land. And I think you said yourself that you've spoken to lots of people who have seen them.
I've seen a black cat.
Have you seen it as well?
I've seen a black cat.
It might be a different one. It's probably a different one.
Okay, well, let's say
But it might not be.
So hands up here, all who haven't seen a black cat in a while.
No. I saw a dead one.
Do you want to go back to the cars and we'll just carry on?
Yeah.
You saw a dead one on the road?
Yeah, but like just a normal. Yesterday on the way back from Poole.
Is that
sad?
So? Because if you see a normal sized black cat, that's supposed to be unlucky. Bad.
It was unlucky for that cat. His guts were everywhere.
Is it lucky to see a dead black?
No, it kind of spoiled our day. We just had a lovely Five Guys. We was driving back to Dorchester, and I saw cat intestines.
We make a violin house.
Were you driving the correct way, or just going round and round, going, "Someone send me a location, I'm lost"? That's how secret our location is.
So, David, you tell us your story, and then Henry, I want to hear yours, and then I can tell you.
I can validate David's.
Yes, and then I can tell you what my barber told me about his encounter.
I don't believe your barber. Firstly, I don't believe he's actually a trained barber, which is why you're wearing a new hat. Shh. What's that over there? That looks shape-wise.
They like the sound of laughter.
They don't.
They like the sound of farts.
Oh
no, that's not a fart.
Not in the hide etiquette, please. Stop it. My sort of ruined downwind for us.
Okay, right.
Yeah, I've actually buried my clothes in the garden for a week, so I don't smell human.
You never smell human, do you?
No.
Ooh, what do you see? What do you see?
I think someone there.
Not moving very much. That's because it's a tree stump.
But I think all of this just shows that you do know the difference between a tree stump and a black cat, so it validates your story a bit.
Only through binoculars.
Oh.
There's another track, isn't there, out by? It runs across there.
Which way? Because people recognise the location if we stop.
Yeah.
Tree stumps and train.
Yeah, they can triangulate that.
What 3 words in?
Yeah.
Do you want to hear my story?
Yes, come on.
Yes, okay.
Can you say it into the microphone?
Yes.
Into the microphone.
I had to wait too long then. So I've
Ross's face is already not believing you.
I'm listening.
He looked at his watch. He's checking his phone.
No, I was checking the phone to see that my voice is being picked up, and I'm sliding off this tussock a little bit, so I'm gripping.
Like a cock horse, mate. It's a cock horse.
Yeah. Okay, let me just get comfy. All right, come on, Uncle David.
Yeah. Okay. So, I was offered a new beat of river to fly fish this year, and jumped at the chance because it flows into a river that I fished for 10 years, and it's some of my favourite stretches locally, and it's favourite because it's very wild. It's very kind of rough ground. There aren't many roads there. The access is pretty poor. There's only a couple of houses on the whole stretch. It's kind of floodplainy, but wild and tusky grass. And then it goes up into wooded, foresty hills. So we went down one week to just cut some of the trees back on part of the beat. And then I went back to fish it the first chance I had this season, all on my own, parked up at the access, and walked down to the bottom of the river to fish back up. About halfway, I put my my bag in a tree that had coffee and sausage rolls, importantly, in.
Because there's been bear sightings there.
Well, you never know. I think
You always put your...
sausage rolls are always safer in trees. If there is a bear around, it's definitely go for the sausage rolls. Although I'm hoping it would just be quite a small bear because I can't reach very high up in the tree myself.
Sylvanian family bear.
Yeah, like a Care Bear. They love sausage rolls.
That's another person.
Another person in our secret location. How fucking dare they? Look, what are they doing out here this time of the morning?
That's live bait.
You're going to think we're absolute
I see.
pricks sitting here underneath in this tent.
They won't see us.
Yeah, we keep wiggling the hide around, they're going to see us.
I think it's a stiff breeze.
Doesn't look like he's got a dog.
Not a bag. Bag.
Full of sausage rolls.
That is an uncomfortable bag.
Surely it's a coat. I think it's a coat.
He's walking. I think he's been up to no good. Well, look at him. That's not a bag you'd wear into the forest.
It's not a
is it?
fucking bag, it's the coat.
It's like a bag for life.
Coat
It's
over
got a bag for life.
coat thrown over his shoulder in a casual way.
I'm the only one without binoculars, so I cannot.
Are we painting a great picture?
Painting the picture.
He's going behind the bush now.
Yeah.
Looks like a lady's coat. I think he's killed someone. And he's
That was my first thought.
taking some evidence on it.
It's too smart to go for a store in the wood. And look how weren't you getting very quick?
Yeah, because you can see 3 men sitting behind a bit of camo netting, looking at him with binoculars. Hey,
We're still watching the man. Okay, so where was I?
You'd hung up your sausage rolls.
Yeah, sausage rolls. They were really tasty.
Do them before you went.
No, they were there for the way back. So I carried on walking downstream, and I got to the end of the beat and jumped the stile over the barbed wire fence, the side of the river, put my rod together, strung it up, tied a fly on, and I've got these little fold-down flippy glasses from my hat so I can see what I'm doing. So he's coming back.
Yeah, I think it was lost.
I can't get that one. Yeah, so I flipped the glasses down, tied my fly on.
Take her teeth out for dental records.
And other purposes. Tied a fly on. Flipped my glasses back up. Looked up at the river. Thought this is going to be amazing. Ready for my first cast. And then to the right-hand side of me, open, rough, wild, water meadowy field. Something caught my eye, and in amongst the straw-coloured grass, this jet black cat shape was walking from right to my left towards the river. Yes, you know. I've told you that before.
It still gets me every time, David. It's the way you paint the picture.
Yeah.
And I kind of instantly froze, but watched it, and I must have seen it for 5 or 6 seconds, and it was trotting, kind of cantering through the field. I could see it was coming from right to left, so I got it in perfect profile. I could see the shape of its head, very cat-like. That's a different person. That person he's got his coat on now.
Over shoulders still.
So,
and a shovel.
Cat-shaped head. Its shoulder blades were kind of popping up and down, kind of rhythmically swaying as it was trotting along.
So you can see that, can't you?
Yeah.
The difference between that and a dog.
Yeah, totally.
Especially in The Lion King,
Yeah.
that's where it's really pronounced. When Scar walks, you can see the roll of a shoulder.
Yes. Just in case our listeners haven't seen a real cat, but have seen The Lion King, we can picture that now. Yeah.
It was about 100 metres away, and I got a good idea of size because I'd walked through that grass and I'd scared some deer through off that field on my way downstream.
On purpose?
Not on purpose, no. They just heard me arriving.
Disrobing.
I didn't see its tail. I only saw the kind of top line of its body. I'd say it was smaller than a Labrador. Not quite as high as a Labrador, but much bigger than your little spaniel dog. It wasn't as high as a Labrador, but it was longer. And it was quite thin, but it was really muscly. And the way it was cantering across the ground, you could tell it had some serious weight to it, some power. It wasn't floaty like a domestic cat. It wasn't kind of light and it had some weight to it. I didn't reach my phone because I just kept watching it, and I had enough time to process what I was seeing. And we'd been having dinner with friends the night before, and we'd been talking about cat stories, and I was kind of rubbishing most stories, thinking people just see fleeting glimpses.
The night before?
Yeah, it was unreal.
Wow.
So I was taking it all in. Then the cat kind of disappeared, and then I got my phone out and started videoing the field. And I think I was videoing maybe 10, 15 seconds. As soon as I turned the video off, I saw the cat leave the field. But it had gone way away from me then. It would have been a speck on the video. But it left through a gap in the field and headed away from me. Not once did it look at me. Not sure if it saw me or knew I was there. But it was incredible, and I was just in awe of it. I wasn't scared at that point. I was just like, wow. Yeah, fishing the rest of the day, I was looking over my shoulder the whole time. And it took a while to, come to terms with seeing it. It was, I think I messaged you two first, but it was,
and it was on April Fool's Day, so I immediately didn't believe you.
It was April the 1st, but that was the first day of the fishing season.
I do believe you now, David, because it's too long of a con. Otherwise, to keep it up this amount of time.
Yeah. So, I fished up river. I wasn't really concentrating on fishing. I was looking over my shoulder a bit too much. I got to the sausage rolls. They were intact, luckily. So
good. No Care Bears.
No Care Bears. Made some coffee, had sausage roll, continued up the river, just upstream of where I'd stopped. The river had been really flooded over winter, and it still was, so the kind of banks were very, very muddy. As I was getting out and into the river again, I saw some footprints. I took photos of these and sent those to you.
Yeah, you did.
They are, I've sent them to some wildlife experts as well, who all agree they're cat prints. I went back a couple of weeks later and found more prints, and this time I had a ruler, and they're 2.5 inches wide, these cat prints, which are not big enough for the animal that I saw, I've been told.
Really?
Yeah. So there's
2.5 inches is not very big, is it?
No, it's like 2 David penises.
Yeah.
But that sounds like 2.5 inches that's domestic cats.
Yeah.
No, my domestic cat, my cat's like 1/2 inch width on their paw print. Yeah.
The 2.5 inches.
It's still it's bigger
But
than
that's not the big cat that you see, because those footprints were too small for the size that you'd seen.
Yeah.
So there's a medium-sized cat somewhere.
Possibly, yeah.
Or a cub.
But we haven't seen any more prints since then. We saw some prints when we went, didn't we, Henry? We thought they were fox.
They were definitely fox. They were point-head, a little bit of a nail at the front. You could see indentation in the mud. So they were definitely very foxy.
Yeah. So then a friend of mine put me in touch with Rick Minter, who runs Big Cat Conversations podcast, which is definitely worth a listen. And he was very kind with his email responses, initially not believing me at first, because again, it was April the 1st, and they get a lot of kind of crank reports and stuff. But we talked about it further, and he put me in touch with Jonathan McGowan, and he's a local chap, wildlife photographer, wildlife expert, lots of very kind of deep interests and specializations. And he used to run a big cat blog and document sightings around Dorset. And he was very kind. I phoned him and we chatted for about half an hour. He was fascinating. And he told me, I told him roughly where I'd seen it. And then he said, oh, it must be around here. And I was like, yep. And he said, oh, it's no surprise. That's the 25th sighting in 2 years in that area.
Yes.
So how long do they live then, these cats, do we think?
I think in captivity, it's like a 15 year tops.
Wow.
There must... All right, so
he thought my sighting was kind of standard and good, and definitely sounded like a cat. He said the footprints were definitely cat prints, but were too small for the animal that I saw. He thinks that animal was a young female, kind of teenage female black leopard. It was jet black against the kind of straw colored grass.
Yeah, wow.
But the black leopard still has spots like a leopard, and if it's in the right light, you can see those rosettes.
Apparently they can't change them, can they?
Not if they're born with them, mate. What else did he say? It was really good to talk to. He said, if I've been fishing there along that river valley for 10 years, then the cats, he thinks there's more than one there, and they've probably seen me before. I've probably been close to them without knowing it. They probably know I come to the river and fish, and I'm no harm.
Sausage rolls, and he's going to leave
sausage rolls.
one day. He's going to forget them.
I put them in a locked box now. I'm not an idiot.
So a sceptical point of view before we move on to Henry's story. would be...
Ross, don't. We on it.
No, but I just want to say, so Dorset isn't really like renowned for cat sighting. It's more sort of Bodmin and stuff, places like that, isn't it? For the Beast of Bodmin Moor and all that kind of stuff.
Well, I think they're the famous ones because it's in literature, but there are lots of cat sightings.
But that's what I was going to say.
There's lots up north as well. There's DNA just been found.
Well, yes. So we said David found a website where they said they found big cat DNA on it
was on a
sheep?
sheep carcass. Again, if you listen to the Big Cat Conversation podcast, Rick interviews the lady that took the swabs. And Warwick University did the DNA tests and found panther DNA.
Wow.
So Rick sent me a video when we were talking about my sighting. He sent me a video of a chap in South Africa who has some. They're not pets, but he has a couple of black leopards, and he loads them up into a cage on his truck, and he drives out and he takes them for walks off the lead, and they go running, and he kind of jogs alongside with a GoPro. And the video of this cat trotting along the savannah through the straw-coloured grass was absolutely identical to what I saw. The silhouette of the head and the rolling of those shoulder blades was stunning.
What about the tail? How's his tail?
I didn't see the tail.
But my question would be, how is it that the son of a person over there? Can I get your binoculars out?
Where?
Yes, there is. Just come back to life.
Good spot, Ross.
There's a dog with them.
Oh, yeah.
Is it a dog?
He really are. He's got white hair. Like you know, when old people get that hair, they don't know what to do with it. It's just old woman hair. It's kind of like the Queen used to have it, didn't she? It's just like a shape, and you're not kind of like a shoe bun or something.
Welcome to Old Woman Watch.
You're wearing lilac jumpers. Like, why do old people only wear kind of pastel colours? Men wear that kind of mustardy, and
well, that's all they sell in the Edinburgh Woolen Mill.
Woolen Mill.
But the question would be, how come there's a load of like wild cats are being released all over the country?
Have they?
So you're suggesting that we're seeing the same cat in Bodmin and Dorset?
No, I'm not. No. They're different cats. There must be different cats. But
where have they come from?
Well, I think it was once upon a time, lots of people used to eat dangerous animals and all sorts of different animals, chimps, and
My next door neighbour used
lynxes and as pets, and fabulous parrots and stuff. Not saying they're dangerous unless you're a nut.
Yeah, my mum's next door neighbour used to have a crocodile called Humphrey.
There you go. And these big snakes that we hear that people have sort of let go because they've got too big, can't eat them. They've eaten all the guinea pigs. Cost of living for snakes, hamsters at Pets at Home are going up. You used to be able to get 2 for a tenner. Now they're about 20 quid each. If the snake eats 2 of those a week, that's going to take the shopping budget out for a week, isn't it? So people just release them into the wild.
But are they released as breeding pairs?
Well, maybe they find because they're quite roaming, aren't they? Maybe people had a pair. And I think it was around about 1970 something.
76.
76, there you go. Dangerous Animal Act came in, where people weren't allowed to keep these unless they had a license. So I'm not sure if there was a big purge or a big smoke out of dangerous animals or neighbours being jobbed in about everybody having their leopards, taking them down to Dorset Gardens, cock their leg on the fountain.
So we think that maybe a load being released late 70s, early 80s, and what we're seeing now is...
Well, there could still be more being released when people get exotic pets and realise what they're growing into. And
like micro pigs.
Wouldn't it be great to see a micro pig? There could be some escapees as well.
Yeah.
So escaping from zoos and private menageries and the like.
I want a private menagerie one day.
That's something, isn't it? In other words. Yeah.
That's another person in the far distance.
Oh, yes, it is. I saw their dog. It's a sandy-coloured dog. They've got a red jumper on. I think they're talking to the lady with the shoe bun hair.
Yeah. Where'd you get your lilac jumper from? I don't know what I'm helping.
That's the only thing I can find. I really want like a zingy fluorescent orange or something.
So also, since I've been fishing the river a couple of times, not usually on my own anymore, which is a shame.
Too scared.
I've now found 8 deer skulls
in
or by the river. So there's plenty of deer out there. When you're on the river, you can't see another house. You can't see a road. It's beautifully wild. There's plenty of food there.
And at this,
I believe your story. It's hard for me to
Oh no,
work out why we've got them around.
Yeah, but I think I heard that. Dinosaur. I think
Velociraptor.
that's the difficult thing, isn't it? Is why everyone wants to know why they're there.
Maybe the woodwose keep them.
And
as pets.
I still don't believe a lot of people's stories. I think if you're driving along at night and something jumps out in front of you, you're concentrating on something else and it's dark. It's really difficult to interpret that. But I was so lucky I had time to take it in and think about how big it was and how far it was, and you know what I mean.
You know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
But then one of the interesting things is when I got back home and we talked about it more, three of us, Henry said, I've seen a black cat. No, because I also went to the pub. And I'm like, you'll never guess what I saw today. And the landlord kind of sidled away from and he came up to me and shook my hand and quite said, thank you. He said, I saw one years ago and everyone thought I was pissed, so I don't talk about it. The more you talk about it, the more people go, yeah, I've seen one.
And I think most people can
Tell us between a cat and a dog.
Between, a cat, a dog, or a deer, or a fox.
Mm-hmm.
But when you hear these things of, that was hefty, the rolling shoulders, big curly tail, heavy, like people, that's really does, your basic instinct, I think, kicks in. I mean, most of the time we would have been the prey, and these animals would have been sharing the world with us. I think it's still embedded in us that that's a big cat. We know those things. Our human instincts go, oh, crikey.
So, the 3 F's, David.
Flight, freeze, fuck it. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I didn't fuck the cat.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
You want to, David?
No.
Is that why you made us come out here?
He wants to get full Jill exotic on it.
Right, Henry, tell us your one.
Okay, yeah. So very much like the drunk man in the pub who makes up all these stories that David was talking about. We, as soon as David said it, I knew where he was fishing, and my mind went, yeah, believe you, David, believe you, because bear in mind this was a while ago. This was 3 children. Well, so it must have been best part of 15 years ago. So we'll have to go back to that aging algorithm that the man sent, saying that he thought it might have been 15 years old. Kate and I had been to a not secret location, drinking cider in a shed, very far away from where David saw his.
Yes, because you sent me a pin of the location, and I thought that's only in the next field or so from where I was.
Yeah,
Having said that, you sent us a pin this morning, and Ross ended up 20 miles away.
Oh dear. Anyway, so we'd sampled a few very nice ciders, and then we were going to a different location to sample a different
Someone else's shed.
Alcohol. We're driving along. Yeah. Don't worry. It was
Can't be prosecuted
15
now.
years ago. Yeah.
Don't incriminate yourself.
So
It's non-alcoholic cider.
Yeah, it's just apple juice.
Yeah.
So we were driving along, and Kate and I sticking our fingers and enjoying each other's company.
Yeah, you can tell it was 15 years ago.
Yeah. And we were looked right across. It was an edge of a field, grass field, but to where the coniferous wood sort of adjoins up this field. And along the margin of this field, along the fence line, saw this animal running. And I nudged Kate and said, "Look at that! That's a dog. Somebody's lost their dog."
Mm-hmm.
And then she looked over and said, "Huh? Like that? That's That was very intelligent for Kate.
And that was the moment you knew she was the one.
Yeah, that's it.
You're going to die when she listens to this.
And we both looked at each other whilst we were looking at the road.
Yeah.
Drinking.
Pulled funny sort of grayling faces at each other. And that's not a dog, because like David said, it was running with rolling shoulders. It was heavy. Its forequarters was sort of bigger and bulky, and rather than sort of like a running trotting machine, it was bounding out, and it had a big tail that was held up as it was running, really, really galloping along, not like a dog at all. Not like a dog.
As fast as a car, it would seem, because it was.
Well, no, it was a fair. Sorry. It was a fair distance away. We must have been.
I haven't seen a single wildlife.
Maybe we are being too noisy.
Yeah.
Or the cats have scared them off.
Oh, it's not a person.
Did you see this? He's not even got binoculars.
Yes, I was about 2 minutes.
It's actually the same person.
Before we could sort of pull over and pause and stop, it boing, disappeared.
Got a white leather.
Amazing. And we both looked at each other aghast again, like, that was a big cat. That's a big cat. And we subsequently got to our final destination, where we were meeting with our friends who had already been in the pub and worked out where we'd been and didn't believe us later. So we were carrying this story for a long time on our shoulders, knowing that we'd seen a big cat, knowing that others had, but it's just finding that a comfortable space to share these stories without people thinking you're a weirdo.
I'm going to say, this isn't making it up. This hill we're sitting on isn't particularly comfortable. I have to brace my legs to stop myself sliding down into the pond. But yeah.
But so that was about 15 years ago. And if David's big cat friend caged his, your one, what did he say? How was your one?
He thought it was a juvenile female.
So it might be the grandchild or
Child.
But he said that, in
Simba to the Mufasa.
In Africa, they'll have quite big territories, but then some black leopards you'll find in cities in India, and there'll be 10 leopards in a city. So he thinks that the ranges they have around where we were, and he thinks there's 2 or 3 cats around where we saw her. So he thinks they could have like 4 or 5 square miles. But I was going to bring a map with me, because I think that you can join lots of parts of Dorset up without going across roads. There's lots of heathland, there's lots of forest, there's lots of MOD land. It's fine. I think we could easily get from this secret location to the river without seeing any kind of built up.
So why do we think they've never found a body of a big cat?
I'm very saying these locations are huge, ranging so far. Like where we are now, you definitely could get to where we saw the cat, where we are now, just following this forest belt. But I mean, the cat's, it's not going to go and conk out and stick itself dangling out the bin in the carpet. It's going to be tucked away under the hedge, grown over by the bracken easy.
I think there have been a couple found on roads, kind of Devon Cornwall way, that have been hit by cars. Yeah. But mainly they'll stay away from the roads, and they'll from where we are now, there's a clump of trees on that hilltop, there's trees on that hilltop, there's trees, they're going to kill a deer and drag it there, they're going to lay up there for the day, they're going to, just like your cat at home, they're going to go into the back of the cupboard or something. Dangling.
And then, think about dead bodies and things, apart from that bloke who follow his footsteps will see the mound of soil, chat with his coat. Or think of all the foxes and badgers and things that
people have
creeping around. You very barely find a badger skull or a skull, do you? So
true.
I'm telling that about things that got buried. Here's a tale for you. Up where you were this morning, Ross, like 15 miles away from
where you meant to be.
You was looking in a field, following some stray pin. A pal of mine I used to work with, he lives up Fiddle Hinton. When he was a young boy, he used to work on a farm up there. And one of the last horses that they used to use to plough and pull the gin in the gin room, not pour the gin, pull the bar around the engine, We said it died one day, so great shame. So they're going to bury the old horse. They dug a big hole for him, all the farmhands, and managed to get this horse in the hole. But as they buried it, one of his legs was still poking out. They didn't dig the hole big enough, they couldn't squeeze it back in. They said that one of the old guys said, "We'll slip down the farm, go and get a bucket." So they slipped down the farm and got this bucket and just put a bucket over the top of his hoof.
I was going to say,
left it there to rot.
I was going to say it started kicking at that point.
Kicking the bucket. Can we go home yet? Is it 6 o'clock yet? It's so early. I think we've scared everything off.
Oh, I think
what we should do is 2 of us stay at the secret location, someone goes somewhere else, so when you scare all the black cats towards
this
flush them out.
Yeah.
Well, we've come to a good spot because we're in a bit of an opening. We've been here since daybreak. At least Ross has been on the road for a lot longer. we set up our hide right next to the water hole, haven't we? And again, in Lion King, all the animals go to the water hole, don't they?
Yes.
Not just to drink, but also to sing.
just like an office.
So we thought this is the top spot for big cat sightings. There's never been a big cat sighting here, though, that's been recorded that we know about.
Shh. Spoiling it.
So, obviously, this is the place for the next big cat sighting.
Yes. Okay, so if you have any big cat stories, email us at darkdarset@gmail.com.
Do you ever get any emails?
Yes.
Do you?
Yes. Oh. We had our friend email us, so we went and met him in a pub.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we've got to meet him again.
Yeah.
Or just not from like the podcast provider platform saying, please, can you stop uploading this trash? No one listens to it. You're just taking up precious silicon in Silicon Valley.
Yeah. But yes. Well, we're on Twitter.
Oh, he's still going.
Darset. Share your stories. I think, David, we should try and get you on one of the other big cat podcasts so you can promote our podcast on there. Henry's falling down a hole. Until next time, I've been Ross in a secret location. Play the game. Look, you're in a tent in the woods with your friends, pretending to have a radio show.
I'm Henry, but I think if there's anyone clever out there, they'd have worked out where we are.
Yeah.
We haven't been very secret about our secret.
Well, they could probably hear us as well.
It's not natural.
Bye.
Right, should we go and dig up that bloke's dead body and take it to the balloon?
Yeah.
If you knows of any weirdness you'd like to share with Dave and Ross, you can tell them by email at darkdarset@gmail.com or talk to them on Twitter at darkdarset. Well, until next time, stay discombobulated.